them with our jazz spices and grill them in their own shell. Top them with fresh grated Parmesan and Romano cheese, and the taste will send you straight down to Bourbon Street. Like your oysters on a half shell? No one in town sells more oysters than Jazz. And don't forget Topless Thursdays. Whether you order 1 or 100, they're only $1.25. Come see us at the original on 39th and State Line, at the Legends in Village West, or our newest location in good old Independence, just east of the Silverstein Eye Center Arena off I-70.
You dig all the hot stuff, the spices stuff that's hot enough when you chop down that Jazz.
Charred broiled oysters. Get them only at Jazz.
Geico presents Monster Counseling.
Dracula, tell me how you're feeling.
No one understands how lonely it is. No one will even let me into their house. I knock and I knock, but they ignore me.
Uh-huh. What else?
I look in the mirror and I don't even see myself anymore.
If you don't see yourself clearly, can you really expect others to?
I'm having a breakthrough.
It's not easy to be a vampire, but with Geico, it's super easy to switch and save hundreds on your car insurance.
Sports Radio 810 WHB is locally owned and operated, just like KC's largest hometown music store, Big Dudes Music City. You won't find a larger selection of guitars, drums, keyboards, and PA systems anywhere else in Kansas City, or a more knowledgeable staff for that matter. If you have anything to do with pro audio in town, you know where Big Dudes is and has been for decades, just north of the plaza on Broadway. Also online at bigdudes.com. Get ready to do your thing at 38th and Broadway with Big Dude. Special financing available for qualified buyers. The Dude abides.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. 30% of Americans who are planning home improvements of $5,000 or more will pay for those renovations with a high-interest credit card. That may not be a great idea. A better idea may be to take cash out of your home with a Quicken Loans 30-year fixed-rate mortgage. The rate today on our 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.99%, APR 4.08%. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Rate subject to change. Pay 1.25% fee to receive the discounted rate. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. License in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Did you know overall job satisfaction is at its highest level in 15 years? Wow. 51%. Wait, what? That's barely half. Would you see a doctor with 51% patient satisfaction? No way. Yet 49% of you keep driving to that unsatisfying job. Why? You have options. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. You could start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. Classes meet just twice a week. It's not rocket science. It's My Computer Career. mycomputercareer.edu.
1 minute. At the 1955 Rose Bowl, Goodyear began providing stunning aerial coverage of college football, forever changing the way the game is experienced. In recognition of its significant contribution, the Goodyear blimp is being inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame as an honorary member. It's the first non-player or coach to ever be inducted. Goodyear is celebrating this honor by reminding you to look forward and make sure you're prepared for the road ahead. Discover more at Goodyear.com. Goodyear, more driven. 30.
If you have frequent heartburn, take control of it with Prilosec OTC instead of stashing antacids everywhere, like in your junk drawer, buried under old batteries and hotel pens, or in your purse, hiding in the one pocket you won't check. You even have antacids on your nightstand, which are very hard to see in the dark. It's time you stopped stashing antacids and started taking Prilosec OTC. 1 pill a day, 24 hours, zero heartburn.
Here we go.
It's possible with Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days, not for immediate relief.
ESPN Kansas City is KCTE Independence and K233DM Raytown, 1510 AM, 94.5 FM.
It's all fun and games till we get into the ring, and then you find out who's softer than Aquafina. If you can't stand the heat, stay away from my arena, cause all I bring is heat. You can call me jalapeno, keep my name out your mouth unless you're trying to sing accolades that you get from seeing a champion. Belt, trophy, your ring. If you gotta show your bling, then tune in to the ship where we talk about it, man. But if you tune in, you better know it's showtime. And every time he speak, man, he gonna speak his mind. Keeping the straight facts while others, they just assume we're keeping it 100 while faking there's no room. With the livest interviews and the hottest guests, you done dealt with the rest, now roll with the best. But before I forget, let me get back to the script. Introduce you to the host of the ship, Darren Smith.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of the ship here on ESPN Kansas City, 94.5 FM and 1510 AM, presented to you by Gates Barbecue. I tell you, Sterling Holmes, who's my board op. Of course, you can hear his show Home Stretch every day, Monday through Friday, 4 to 6 p.m. right here on ESPN Kansas City. I feel good this morning. I'm telling you. Now, I needed a good night's sleep. I didn't get it last night, but I had enough sleep overnight last night that I feel much better about Sunday night's game. Now, what I don't feel good about is if you live in Cleveland or if you live in any part of the state of Ohio after last night's thrashing of the Cleveland Browns, which for me brought a little bit of delight, while I'm here at the station watching the game and stuff, and I got a chance to sit back and just see the 49ers, who we didn't expect a whole lot of this season, but seeing Jimmy Garoppolo and that running back first play of the game, 83 yards untouched, from what I heard, the reports of Baker Mayfield not shaking hands at the beginning of the game kind of riled the San Francisco 49ers captains and the players up. I love it. Again, sometimes people like to troll you because, you predict the chance that the Chiefs going 19-0. And, so they suffer a loss at the hands of the Indianapolis Colts. I think the Colts are probably tied for the lead in their division. So they're a good team. Now, I wish I could say the same about the Cleveland Browns, or as I call them, the Cleveland Clowns. I know I have a good friend out in Columbus, Ohio, who thinks he knows sports. His name is Fred Yates III. I want to put him on blast right now because this guy actually said that Baker Mayfield is going to be the future of the NFL and he's a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes. Now, mind you, this is a guy who won the MVP last year, saying that Baker Mayfield in 7 or 8 games last year was going to be a better quarterback and be an MVP in this year's team. I swear, I couldn't make this stuff up if I wanted to. So I love it. They were defeated 31-3 last night. I know you got a chance to watch the game. What were you thinking when you saw the thrashing that the Cleveland Clowns got last night?
Surprised.
Really?
Surprised. I mean,
didn't surprise me one bit.
I didn't think that. Again, I'm not saying Cleveland's a great team, but
they're not.
But I didn't think they were that bad. I mean, I still think
they are.
I still think Baker Mayfield is he's going to be a very good quarterback in the NFL.
He's not. He's a bust.
They have so much talent around them. It was surprising. They have good talent on defense. Myles Garrett, he got a sack.
They're undisciplined, though.
They are. It looks like Baker Mayfield almost pissed his own team off. I mean, he threw that interception in the end zone. That wasn't his fault. That was the receiver's fault.
I'm blaming him anyway.
You can. I'm just saying the whole team just played uninspired, terrible. They got ran all over. You thought the Chiefs got ran all over. This Browns team, they got, 266 rushing yards, I think?
I think 276.
Yeah, it was something ridiculous. I mean,
people talk about the Chiefs' run defense, but when you saw what the Browns put up last night, look, there's hope for Kansas City. Especially if you try to compare your quarterback and your team, thinking that they're going to get to the Super Bowl. Of course, the Chiefs have more credibility. They'll be able to do that. Again, I just love talking about the Cleveland Browns because they're trash. They're bad. And then, this whole thing about Baker Mayfield and him not shaking hands and this attitude that he wants to portray. Again, that's one reason why I don't think he could ever be the face of the league because he's not like Patrick Mahomes where, Mahomes has respect for the league and has respect for the players and the people and his opponents that he goes up against. I think, Richard Sherman talked about that, not wanting to shake hands, and I think that ended up coming back to haunt him because they put a little extra oomph in those hits that they put on Baker last night.
I will say, though, he wants to be the villain, which is fine. Some guys...
Yeah, but you got to be good, though.
I agree. Some guys embrace that role. I mean, LeBron played that role in Miami.
For 1 year, but he didn't like it, though.
He didn't like it, but Kobe Bryant played that role for a good amount of his career. But the thing is, you can play the villain, but you still respect the game and respect the players around you. Seemed like Baker, he had the whole handshake controversy when he played Kansas. When KU wouldn't shake his hand when he was at Oklahoma.
Now, KU wrong for that, though. I mean, you can't try to talk trash and you sorry.
Yeah, that would have.
Now, the flip side has happened in Cleveland, though, because they sorry, but.
Well, that's the whole point. You seen it from when KU did that to you in Oklahoma. You got pissed off about it. You got upset. And you do the same thing to a team that's undefeated in the San Francisco 49ers. You do the exact same thing that I was just surprised. I was like, that's a soft move by Baker
That's
there.
a punk move, actually. Again, I think it was against TCU where I think one of the players came across on their side and he threw a football at their helmet or something. Makes you wonder, like, man, I don't know. Sometimes I live by that wish factor. I wish Baker, some of the stuff that he did in college, he would try to pull in the NFL and see how far that would get him. I don't know. I don't know. I'm thinking back to the Kings of Comedy. There's a hope and a wish factor. And so some people hope that somebody's in their seat. Some people wish somebody's in their seat. I want to wish people right there.
Did you see the Joey Bosa sack, though?
Oh,
when
that was
he
beautiful.
waving the flag, though? Like the old because, everyone knows.
He had that planned.
Oh, 100%. But
It was so beautiful.
After, the Oklahoma beat Ohio State at Ohio State, he took the Oklahoma flag, planted it at the 50-yard line in between the O. Well, Joey Bosa gets that sack. He had a plan. Comes out, pretending to wave the flag, and just planted it as Baker Mayfield just laying on the ground still, just wrecked.
And you know what? Bosa played well. It's funny because he suffered a high ankle sprain in the preseason. Didn't think he was going to be able to play at all. I think he played in the first game, had a sack. Didn't really play too the last 3 weeks, but again, Monday Night Football came out and put his name on the map last night in last night's game.
Yeah, he really, really did. I mean, Niners are legit. 49ers look like a legit I'm not saying they're a great team. You're not going to run for 266 yards against every team. Jimmy Garoppolo didn't have his best game. He played more of a game manager style, which that's all he needed to do in this game. He wasn't forced to make big throws, which if you can do that, that is completely fine. That defense, you give up 3 points. You can say what you will about the Cleveland Browns. They still have Nick Chubb, OBJ, and Jarvis Landry.
Well, you know what? And see, I didn't talk about OBJ. That, to me, is like the best thing about this Cleveland Browns team. Knowing that I don't like OBJ and I don't like Baker Mayfield and I don't care for the Cleveland Browns, seeing them get embarrassed on national TV the way that they are, oh, gosh, there is what they call a heavenly father out there, and he's just blessing me week in, week out, being able to talk about the clowns in the way that I do when I troll other people who trolling me right now about the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I will say this, and we are going to get some Chiefs talk, but I do want to get through some of the NFL news that is taking place right now. Doesn't look like Rob Gronkowski is going to be coming back to the New England Patriots. So, in a way, that does kind of help Kansas City as it relates to
He was never coming back.
Well, I mean, they've been
Did you see how small he looked? Did you see how small he looked?
Man, look, if he wants to be a professional wrestler one day, he'll be able to bulk up easily. Not gonna say how he does it,
Yeah,
but
there's a little difference there.
Yeah, so look, for him, he needed time off, obviously, to rest his body for all the hits and stuff that he's taking. So there was talk that he could come back week 10, week 11, if Brady was to put that call in, if they really needed him. I don't think that they do, but they do have a lot of players that are, that are injured, dropping like flies, like the Kansas City Chiefs. But Rob Gronkowski looks to be joining Fox Sports on their pregame. It looks like he's going to be on Thursday night's pregame show when New England is going to be hosting the New York Giants. And in that game, Saquon Barkley will not be playing in that game as well. So that's, that's going to be very interesting. Oh, and you know what? I almost forgot for our listeners out there. I have a giveaway today. I have two coupons to Gates Barbecue for our fifth caller today. So you give us a call at 913-491-TALK. Almost thought about using it for myself because it's Gates. But we do have a couple of coupons to give away. You can take it and use it at any of the 6 locations in the Metro Kansas City area if you're under the sound of our radio voice, if you're here locally. If you're out of town, I can't help you. But you can give us a call, 913-491-TALK. You can give us a call during the show if you want to make a comment or talk about the game, or if you're trying to win the tickets, and you can do so. You can try to call in during the break, whatever, but it will be caller number 5, okay? And you try to use it, try to sell it to anybody else, I'll be mad because I could have been using it for myself. Now, I do want to say, as it relates to the Kansas City Chiefs, the injury update, it looks as though Chris Jones is going to be out week to week. It looked like he suffered the most serious injury in Sunday night's game, where he had pulled his groin injury. So I don't know what the evaluation is. I know they said at least week to week. He could be out a minimum of 4 weeks, maybe as many 5. Not Sports Talk Radio. They used to complain about some of the personality that was around here. Okay, you get the opportunity. Call him. Yeah, I don't know. You're going to have to try to put him on for me. So, Alonzo, if he gets you on, we'll get you on. But Colin Gates will get you taken care of. But he practiced, obviously, last week. But because he didn't take any hits, they're unsure whether or not, if he were to come back in this Sunday's game, he would re-aggravate his injury or not. Now, I'm of the big proponent that he needs to be playing in this game. After what you saw offensively in Kansas City on Sunday Night Football, they need all the help they can get. It doesn't look like Sammy Watkins is going to be able to play in this game if you talk about the hamstring injury that he suffered. I think on the second or third play of the game, I think he re-aggravated that injury. Now, if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, you need to show up that run defense. Now, people think, I think Seth Kaiser on The Athletic talked about it where he didn't think that it was that important. I can assure you that with J.J. Watt and company coming in and Deshaun Watson, this is going to be a dream matchup for me. Of course, people who know me know a couple years ago when the Chiefs had Alex Smith before. You got something for me, Sterling, or what?
I got his number. Our phones are it froze. The system froze.
Yeah, it's funny because seriously, because we had that situation happen last night on A10. So, but we'll give the guy a call back.
I got his number. It's Alonzo. Got his number for you. All set.
Oh wow. Okay. Some coupons I didn't really want to give away, but I guess they're gonna take me up on it now.
So you're giving callers gates, and you ain't giving me gates yet.
Yeah, I mean, sponsors, man. I got to take care of the people. It's the people who put us out, who put us up here right now. So, I mean, I got to take care of them. But as I was saying, going back to the Chiefs and Houston Texans, so look, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's concerning because when you look at from week to week, the Kansas City Chiefs, the last 3 weeks especially, you've given up 200-plus yards against the Baltimore Ravens on the ground. You've given up 182 yards, I believe, against the Detroit Lions. You've given up 180 yards against the Indianapolis Colts. Now, my biggest concern is if you're Andy Reid and this coaching staff, you see week in and week out, you look at the same stats that everybody else is looking at. You might see different film than what everybody else is seeing on television, but it should be no excuse why you're not trying to make some sort of improvement as it relates to your front and your defense, and to where you continually are having the ball ran down your throat each and every week. And again, Baltimore tried it. They tried going for it on fourth down. They tried to do some things. They tried to ball control, and again, they did a good job getting the ball in the end zone from the ground, but they just couldn't control the time of possession. That's something that Indianapolis was determined to do. They executed it to perfection. People say, well, the defense only gave up 19 points. Again, their offense didn't have to put up a whole lot of points because they were running the ball and keeping Patrick on the sidelines, and knowing that every time Patrick and that offense got on the field, that they were either going to kill themselves with penalties, 11 penalties, 125 yards, or they just wasn't, the offense wasn't on the field enough to make enough big plays. And then once Shady McCoy had that fumble in the first half, that was it for Kansas City, because they had a chance to go up. They had a chance to go up, I think, what was it, 17-3 or 17-10 at that time, and they couldn't do it. And when I look at Andy Reid's comments saying that the reason why they kind of pulled Shady after that was because of his pass protection. Well, you've been pass protecting the last couple of weeks. It was fine in those games when you won, but because, you lost and he had that fumble, now you're coming up with a pass protection excuse.
Not just protecting Shady, being nice to him, saying it was pass, not blaming it on the fumble. And no, I'm gonna disagree with you 1,000%.
On what?
The whole defense. It's 3 points is 3 points is 3 points. Just because
37 minutes and 23 minutes are two different things.
Guess what? It's all about possessions. All about possessions.
And the Chiefs didn't take advantage of those possessions.
No, it's all Chiefs offense. This game, don't get me wrong, Chiefs defense wasn't great, but they were by far serviceable enough to get this win. This comes down to the fact that the offense was not able to move the ball. Because guess what? If you have this amount of possessions, they could have done the exact same thing. They could have ran the clock out, but guess what? If you get stopped, 10-minute drive, field goal's still worth 3. Doesn't matter if you score it in 2 minutes, if you score in 10.
There was one time in the second half of the game, the Colts had, I think, almost 19 minutes worth of time.
And guess what? This got 6 points out of it. If we score one touchdown, if Mahomes scores one touchdown, doesn't matter if they had it for 19 minutes. You have 1 minute and score a touchdown, you win that game. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but they couldn't. That's the problem.
But how's that defense's fault that they can't score? This is all on the offense, 100%.
Because you couldn't create turnovers. Obviously, And
They
don't
did
try.
create Tyrann Mathieu created a turnover.
Again, I
Come
knew you was going to say that, but again, as I said on the show last night, it wasn't something he did. Jacoby Brissett just threw it in the triple coverage, threw it right to him. So I mean, it landed right in his lap.
Does it still count?
Well,
is it still a turnover?
It is a turnover.
Was it a big moment in the game?
No, I think that was in the first half.
It was a big moment in the game. They were driving.
Yeah, but it didn't lead to anything because that turnover led to the Chiefs' offense going down the field, and then what happened? Shady McCoy got the ball popped out.
The offense, though. This is not on the defense. What? This is the whole. Come on, Darren. You realize that even if the Colts had 20 minutes of ball control, they come away with 2 field goals. If typical Mahomes scores 1 touchdown, you still are leading. You are ahead of them. That's all that matters is if you score points. We could not score points.
I agree. I agree with that premise. However, because of how the game was flowing, the Chiefs never established a running game, and so you can't. So all the Colts had to do was just drop 7 men back like they were doing in the ball game. Now, if the Chiefs would have kept the defense honest and try to establish a running game, which they didn't do, again, and we talked about it last night. I don't understand why you bring Damian Williams back if you're not going to run him. I know he led the team with 9 carries for 23 yards. I mean, that's
well, the offensive line was abysmal. Offensive line was well. First off, why are you running the ball when you know you have a bad offensive line? I get Mahomes is hurt, but if Mahomes is that hurt, take him out. If you're going to take the L, don't risk further injury.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Well, then if that's the case, then don't play him this week. But if if that's the case,
that's a whole different situation.
Yeah,
we may disagree on.
But if you do that, then you jeopardizing the season.
No, you're not. AFC West is weak. You have a solid lead. You think the Raiders are going to keep up this stretch that they're on? No way.
You're not worried about AFC West. You're worried about home field advantage throughout the playoffs, man.
Yeah, you are. But look, until the Patriots lose, their schedule is so easy. You may not even have a chance. And I'd rather be healthy. If you're going to be healthy, you're missing Eric Fisher. You may be
Chiefs
missing
had a healthy defense.
You might be missing Wiley.
We saw what happened.
Reader and LDT have not been solid. Why risk Mahomes getting hurt worse and potentially missing multiple games to where you're going to lose 4 or 5 games instead of losing 1?
See, but
take your medicine.
But one of the reasons why I go back to blaming the defense, and I talked about a little bit on the show yesterday with you, Tyrann Mathieu, Honey Badger. Yeah, he had that interception, but you also can't go after the coaching staff on the sidelines talking stuff when they just ran the ball down on 4th and 2 and 4th and 1, getting the first down. Again, that goes to defense because, like you said, you can blame the offense, but if the defense makes those stops, see, the coach didn't have respect. The coach didn't have respect for that for our defense because they continue to go for it on 4th down. 4th and short. They even went 4th and 6 one time. They just had no respect for the team defense.
We went 4 and 4th down, and guess what happened? We didn't make it.
Hold on. Chiefs had a choice. I mean, they had no choice. They were behind.
It's still a point.
No, I'm saying they were behind. The Colts were in the lead, and they were going for it on 4th and 2, 4th and 3 to keep the clock going, to keep the team's offense on the sideline. So again, they executed their game plan to perfection on how and showed everyone this is how you became. Again, it's one thing to talk about it. Hey, ball control, time of possession, run the ball. It's another thing to be able to do it and be able to execute it. Because here's the other thing.
I got lucky. They got lucky. That Mahomes and the offensive line was one touchdown wins that game. On of the 9 possessions or the 7 possessions you didn't score, of the 7 possessions that you did not score, 1 touchdown would have won that game.
And whose fault is that?
Offense.
Okay, I'm gonna let you have that. I'm gonna let you have the offense.
If you can't score a touchdown in 7 possessions, when you have the MVP, I mean, come on, that's just math right there.
Okay, I mean, I'll put it like this: you're gonna have to have some vast, serious improvements between 13 points that you scored on Sunday night and the team that scored 53 coming in this Sunday. But you know what? We're gonna look at that game as we come back from the break. Keep it locked into the ship right here on ESPN Kansas City, 94.5 FM and 1510 AM. And I guess in the meantime, I'll try to call this Alonzo guy and give him some Gates barbecue coupons. We'll be right back after this timeout. Labor Day marks the end of summer. Labor Day is a time for the start of school, time to celebrate the American labor movement, and time for football season. Gates Barbecue is for all seasons. So as you're shopping for the last picnic of the summer, pick up some Gates sauces and seasoning at your grocer. Gates is a great flavor enhancement for your meats, veggies, salads, and dips. For that unmistakable taste, buy Gates. It is a Kansas City tradition.
The age-old question, what came first, the chicken or the egg? The Kansas Lottery says the early bird. Hey, chirp. The early bird is back, spreading his wings and the word. Buy your Holiday Millionaire raffle tickets now and get even more chances to win big. Making it rain, chirpity chirp. But the clock is ticking and tickets are limited. Flock to your nearest retailer now before... Down low. Too slow. See kslottery.com for details.
Hi, Mitch Holtis for Vanderbilts. I've known them a long time. They're a great local company. Did you know Vanderbilts is your Wolverine headquarters? Come in and check out the new Ramparts collection. These boots are USA built and feature Wolverine DuraShocks comfort system. DuraShocks come with a 30-day comfort guarantee. The Wolverine Ramparts collection also features TPU outsoles, Carbon Max safety toes, and they're waterproof. Vanderbilts, with locations in Lawrence, Topeka, Wamego, and Salina, or at vanderbilts.com.
Hey, Soren Petro here. Why settle for pre-sliced meats and dry bread when you can get sliced to order? Meats piled high on soft, fresh baked bread. Founded right here in Lenexa, Kansas, Good Sense has been doing things the right way since they began. Good Sense has been a Kansas City classic for over 30 years. They've mastered the craft of soft bread by preparing and baking their signature bread twice each day. They slice all their meats and cheeses by hand to make sure that your sandwich tastes fresh. They don't do these things because they're easy. They do them because it's what tastes best. Good Sense also offers toasted subs, pastas, my daughter's absolute favorite, and even kids' meals too. And their delicious giant cookies make the perfect dessert. Find the Good Sense location closest to you at goodsense.com. Sandwich lovers in KC have chosen Good Sense for over 30 years. Not because it's easy, but because it's better.
30.
Just Good Sense.
This is Matt Toronto with Aesthetic Care Med Spa, the #1.
30. And is he coming on air?
And I am very excited to introduce our newest treatment, the Emsella. As men age, we have to go to the bathroom more frequently, getting up at night, stopping on road trips, and even missing plays at the game. Emsella is FDA cleared for incontinence in men and women. On top of that, it will dramatically improve your sex life with longer and stronger orgasms. For a free consultation, contact Aesthetic Care at 913-338-5476 or visit us on the web at greatskinkc.com.
We're back on the ship here on ESPN Kansas City, 94.5 FM and 1510 AM, as well as 1510.com, Facebook Live, YouTube Live. We are all over the universe right now. Kenneth Johnson on Facebook says that they think everyone is overreacting over one loss. That might be true, but when you are exposed at the way that the Chiefs were exposed and you're not making any type of adjustments, it's easy for that to happen. But right now, do have our lucky winner call on the air, Mr. Alonzo. How are you doing this morning?
Hey, how are you? I'm doing good.
Oh, well, appreciate you calling in. Now, did you have a question or not? Now, you are calling on fire, so you do win two coupons to Gates Barbecue. They're good for lunch, dinner, whatever you use it, whenever you want. I mean, if you just wanted to treat me to lunch, I'll take that as well. But if you got a special lady,
sure.
but if you got a special lady, hey, you got to take care of her because I don't want you, you can't sleep on my couch. So you got to take care of home if that's the case. But what do you want to talk about this morning?
So my question is, are the Chiefs still looking at Ramsey? I mean, because we're in a position where we're going to need some help at the corner position.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. The Chiefs, they are still trying to acquire him. The problem is twofold. Is that the Jacksonville owner, he doesn't want to trade him, and there was I think it was Adam Schefter who stated Sunday that it doesn't matter if you give him 5 first-round draft picks. That right now Shah Khan doesn't want to trade Jalen Ramsey. So as long as he is not budging on that, then there's nothing that the Jacksonville Jaguars or even the Kansas City Chiefs can do in acquiring Jalen Ramsey. Now, I will say this: if you look at Sunday's game, as bad as the defense played, your biggest concern should be the safety and the protection of Patrick Mahomes. I do agree that when we face offensive teams, maybe someone like the Patriots in December and then possibly in January, I'd say that someone like Jalen Ramsey would be great to be on the team. However, if you saw how bad that the line was protecting or not protecting Patrick Mahomes, the team was only going to go as far as Patrick Mahomes takes them. And, to me, I say it, and I don't mean it facetiously, but for me, Patrick Mahomes is the church's tithes and offerings. If he's not protected at all costs, you're only going to go as far as the team goes. So if he's not healthy, if he's not in the ball game, you've seen what the Chiefs' offense looks like, on a bad day with Patrick in the lineup. Just imagine him not being in the lineup at all because he's injured and out 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, but those defensive linemen that we've been playing, some of these teams these are probably some of the best defensive-minded teams in the league the first 3 or 4 games. So
yeah.
I mean, is that going to be that's not going to be the case the rest of the season, though.
Well, I'll put it like this. I mean, you're going to get Eric Fisher back at some time. I believe that Tyreek Hill is going to play Sunday. Now, Andy Reid can pull the carpet underneath me come Friday and declare him out. So that is possible as well. But that being the case, if Kansas City is healthy, obviously right now you got Tyreek Hill out, you got Eric Fisher out. You just lost your second wide receiver in Sammy Watkins. We don't know just how severe the injury is with Chris Jones and Xavier Williams. Frank Clark was a little nicked up in Sunday's game, although he was able to finish. I think Anthony Hitchens is also got hurt and was out of the game Sunday. So now, this is early part of the season where a lot of your starters, a lot of your big plays, a lot of your big players are suffering key injuries right now. So, it's never a good time, I guess, to have an injury. If you're going to do it early part of the season, bring your players back later on in the year. However, you don't want to fall too far behind. And so, again, that's why I say that the most important thing right now is protecting Patrick Mahomes. I never understood why when they put Mo Claiborne, brought him off of the suspension list, they got rid of an offensive lineman. I was like, get rid of Charvarius Ward, but whatever. And so since that didn't happen, you were one less lineman away, and Cam Irvin almost took out Patrick, completely in Sunday night's game, stepping on his ankle in the end zone the way he did. So, again, I think, it could be a matter of just what you see right now, what's most pressing. I think Sunday night's game exposed what's most pressing for the Kansas City Chiefs, and that's going to be protecting Patrick Mahomes. Now, look, that run defense needs to be shored up, but you can't really do anything about that. You can only do with the players that you have right now, and that's why I think that's more of a coaching thing. Obviously, I think they need practice with a lot of form tackling, but that goes back to the CBA arrangement that the players probably can't do a lot of hitting during the week and stuff when the season starts. So a lot of little stuff that that could make changes or that could affect the team, you're not able to do because of the collective bargaining agreement. So for me, again, it's just protecting Patrick Mahomes. Because look, let's say Patrick gets hurt Sunday, J.J. Watt hits him with the sack. It's not going to matter who is playing quarterback or who's going to be that run defense. Do you really think that Matt Moore is going to be able to lead this team to the Super Bowl if Patrick gets hurt Sunday?
Nah, that ain't happening.
We
know that ain't happening.
No. Oh, hold on. Are you saying that Patrick getting hurt is not happening, or Matt Moore leading his team?
Matt Moore leading his team, that ain't happening.
Okay.
Matt Moore leading his team, we not going. I don't know if we win another game.
Yeah. So that's why I said look. As bad as the defense is, remember the team went 12-4 last year. They were an offsides penalty away from going to the Super Bowl. Patrick, if the offense is healthy, is good enough, and his team is good enough to overcome what the defense does. You just need them playing smart one game, and that's in the playoffs when it matters most. So, again, I gotta say that at the end of the day, Patrick's safety and his comfort behind that offensive line is going to be what's important for this team to be successful to get to the playoffs. So, Alonzo, look, I thank you for calling in. We will. I got your information. I'll touch bases with you after the show. We'll, get you these Gates coupons. But if you want to donate it to your boy, I appreciate that too.
Oh no, I'm okay. I'll take those.
All right, man. I appreciate you calling, man.
All right.
Take care.
All right.
All right, so of course, congratulations again to Alonzo. I don't know, might have to give some more coupons away tomorrow, man. I mean, what really? Hold on. So that's what it takes for you to call in. I gotta give you some Gates Really? I mean, I just thought you just like sports, but oh well, I appreciate it. And Dylan Humphreys, what's going on with you on Facebook Live? Shane Williams, my sister Sharice has just joined in with us. But let's take a look at Sunday's game, man. Houston Texans, Deshaun Watson. Again, as I said before the break, last couple of years before Kansas City drafted Patrick Mahomes, I was high on Deshaun Watson, still high on him. Right now, I think that Patrick Mahomes is the right quarterback for this team. But I've got to say, first and foremost, man, I love Deshaun Watson. There's just no, like I picked the Chiefs like I picked the Texans. I pick them because of their quarterback. And now you got these two teams that are going to be facing off. I think this is going to be the future of the NFL. You know, how you had Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. I think Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes, this could be the matchup because I'm very much excited for this game. It is a 12 noon game. I wish this would have been a Sunday Night Football game because you remember, I think in Deshaun's rookie season, he faced, because I was at the game, he faced the Kansas City Chiefs at home on a Sunday Night Football game. And I think it was funny. J.J. Watt, I think the linebacker, they were dropping like flies in that game. And they trailed most of the game, but Deshaun brought that team back, and I think he threw like 4 or 5 touchdowns against the Kansas City Chiefs in that game before they fell short against the Chiefs in there. So, hello, Miss Mickey Cole. I appreciate that. I appreciate the great show comment. But I don't know. I mean, in this game, I don't know. I gotta say, man, if Tyreek Hill doesn't play, and if I feel that there's no improvement in that defense between now and Sunday, I think Kansas City Chiefs get their second L of the week.
I could definitely see that. Texans have a solid defense. J.J. Watt coming against a injured offensive line just does not bode well.
Not at all.
If you're going to have Travis Kelce in there to block, that reduces his, receiving ability. And that reduces Mahomes.
And he's going to be more frustrated.
And Mahomes isn't moving very well as far as in the pocket. I mean, he struggled to move in the second half. I mean, it was tough to watch him. And that means Travis Kelce would be his main go-to guy in that situation. And if he's going to have to block more, the cards are not lined up in the Chiefs' favor for this matchup right here.
And here's what's funny. Again, somebody said, Kansas City loses, you jump off. Well, before the season started, no secret, I had them going 12-4, and I think this was one of the games that I had them losing. But when I saw how they manhandled a great defense in the Jacksonville Jaguars and Tyreek Hill got hurt early in the ballgame, and you still put up 40 points.
But you had Sammy Watkins.
Yes, but Sammy Watkins had been kind of quiet the last 3 games as well.
He's been hurt.
And man, we talked about that before the season. He can't stay healthy, which is just that's frustrating because he's a good guy. I mean, he's in the second year of his contract. I don't think his contract next year is guaranteed, so I don't see him staying on this team. But it's not a good look for someone who you want to have a good season. And obviously, I do think the biggest factor in Watkins' demise, so to speak, is just that the injury to Tyreek Hill. I think that has ramifications because he's able to stretch the field. Now, people talk about McCole Hardman. McCole Hardman is fast, but he ain't quick. And we were arguing with someone on our Monday show yesterday. Where they were trying to say that McCole's just as fast as Tyreek. No, he's not.
He might be, but no, hear me out. He might be, but that's the point is he's not a great route runner. Tyreek Hill is probably the premier route runner in the NFL. You see McCole Hardman, he may be fast, but he doesn't always take the best routes. He doesn't put himself in great positions to make the plays that Tyreek Hill does. He doesn't go up and get the ball. He did have that great catch and that triple coverage it looked like that game on Sunday, but he's just not a polished player like Tyreek Hill is.
Yeah, well, again, where I disagree is he's not as fast as now. I mean, you got to put in perspective. 4.342 is still faster than what I can run right now. Unless you got some gates down the street, I guarantee you I'll beat you down there to it.
Bet.
But the issue is, and I agree with that he's not a great route runner. one of the things that Patrick has said that he needs to continue running, and he's not joining. He's not finishing off his routes as he should. Now, I believe he can beat coverage, but again, Tyreek Hill is shifty. He can move his hips, and he can break on the dime and adjust at full speed. McCole Hardman hasn't been able to show that he can do that yet. And again, I just think that the absence of Tyreek Hill has had an adverse effect to where even though we have the other plethora of receivers, it just seems like they can't beat the coverage. And until Tyreek Hill comes back, we can stretch the field where you can get someone like Travis Kelce underneath and can go up the field. Then again, I think that's gonna hurt the team's offense, especially if you're not trying to run the ball.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think Mahomes said it very the receivers we have. With Andy Reid's system, they will beat zone coverage because they'll have the plays drawn up to beat zone coverage. Mahomes can obviously do that. But when they're in man coverage, Byron Pringle showed it a couple of times he could, but they're not good enough.
Shout out to Byron Pringle.
Yeah, but they're most of the guys they weren't good enough to beat their man one-on-one. That's what it came down to. Tyreek Hill opens that up and makes it so you can't play man. Sammy Watkins, to an extent, is too good to almost guard and just single man coverage. So when those guys come back, they'll have to almost go to a zone just to protect that, and then that's why you see all the big plays, all these guys like McCole Hardman making bigger plays because they're focusing so much on Tyreek Hill.
See, but the one problem with that, though, is that they can get to Patrick with their front four. As long as they can get to Mahomes with their front four and they don't have to rush anybody, they don't have to play zone coverage. They can just drop everybody, including with Tyreek. You just double him and put everybody else back. Because as long as you can get that pressure on Mahomes. Now, Steve is a big proponent of, him going outside the pocket, rolling around and stuff like that.
I am too.
And, it looks good in theory, but it's going to catch up to him. And, if it's a design play, I understand. But sometimes when the line breaks down, he's trying to make things happen. Yeah, chaos ensues on the field, and only he knows where he's going to throw the ball. I still believe, though, as long as the opponents can get to Patrick with their front four, that's going to make it much harder for them. That's going to make it much harder for the Chiefs' offense to get going, especially if you don't keep them honest. You got Shady McCoy. I'm presuming Shady's going to be back in this game. He's going to be out of the doghouse or the pass protection doghouse. You're going to have Damian Williams, Darrell Williams. I noticed Darwin Thompson's been on the inactive list the last couple of games. So, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. But I think against this defense, you've got to establish the run first instead of just trying to just pass the ball. Because if you don't, and you don't put, you don't try to run the ball down J.J. Watt and company's throats, it's going to be a real long game. And the fact that the Chiefs have shown that now they're vulnerable, they can lose, and they have the recipe. Carlos Hyde, which we haven't talked about on here. Carlos Hyde, yeah, I mean,
he's been very solid.
He's been solid. He scored a touchdown, 60 yards. See, last week they ran for over 160 yards. Again, you're running on a team that gives up a lot of yards on the ground anyway. Deshaun Watson had 47 yards, I think, on 4 carries. I mean, this is not a good game if you're coming off of a loss for the Kansas City Chiefs to be looking forward to. And now, had they won last week, yeah, I'd be picking them to win because, of course, I'm thinking they're going 19-0. But since they've shown their vulnerabilities, now I can go back, okay, Chiefs are going to go 12-4. I didn't think they'd lose against the Colts. I did think they had a good possibility of losing against Deshaun Watson and the Houston Texans. And this game, I don't want to say it's a trap game, but it's not a good game for Kansas City if you don't win this game, because then you come back 4 days later and you're in Denver playing the Broncos.
Yeah, it's tough. Duke Johnson Jr., I mean, we did do a good job against the Ravens and Lamar Jackson as far as containing him, running the football. We did a pretty good job when we played them. Deshaun Watson's another animal, though, slightly different. He has
Watson's a beast, man.
He has better receivers to work with. Will Fuller obviously had that massive game on Sunday.
Well, hold on. Well, I'm gonna say this: they have better receivers because they can stay healthy.
No. I meant than the Ravens. If I'm comparing them as far as
I thought you were
those
comparing
two
to the
games.
Chiefs.
No. But it is, and if it's Anthony Hitchens is what it comes down to. If Hitchens is healthy, I think we probably make a stop or two in this past game. Hitchens has been our best tackler. He's been so consistent. If Hitchens was healthy, I bet we would have stopped him on one of those third downs. With him out, that's a huge loss. You're missing your middle linebacker. You're missing your captain of the defense. That's a big loss that I feel like a lot of people are kind of glossing over.
I'll put it like this. I think the Chiefs need to give me a one-day contract. Let me just suit up and play linebacker. Telling you, dude, it's form tackling is an art form. That's something I was able to do in high school. I could form tackle. I mean, I could run and just wrap somebody up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you say, you want to. Trust me.
You couldn't even tackle me.
Boy, you almost made me cuss on the air right now. Don't.
I'd shake you.
Really?
I'd shake you like crossing you over, but I don't even have a basketball in my hand.
You do realize how small the studio is, right? I could tackle you.
Guess how big a football field is.
Oh, no, you're not getting away from me, bro. Not getting. Okay, and Mickey Cole, yeah. I see your little comment. It's not happening. But anyway, speaking about that, so now, again, I got right now. If I had to pick a winner in Sunday's game, people are gonna be mad at me because it's Kansas City. I got to go 35-24 Texans right now.
Nah, that's not the Chiefs. But I see where you're coming from.
I mean, hell, the Chiefs only scored 13 points last week. I mean, I don't – see, my problem is that I don't trust Andy Reid enough to stick with the running game. I mean, and this is what's most disheartening because the last 2-3 games, they showed that they could run the ball. They ran the ball 120-plus yards, I think, against the Lions. I think they ran for 140 yards against the Baltimore Ravens. So, I mean, it's a concern of mine that I really think that, we're kind of overlooking. And the fact that if they're not going to get that running game, and I think, they want to showcase Patrick in that arm so much to show what he can do that it kind of takes them away from the game plan of trying to have a balanced offense. Now, I'm not saying –
Don't need one. You shouldn't have to have one. If you're the Chiefs,
no.
Based
Well,
on analytics.
I mean, it should at least be 70-30 because you got to keep the defense honest. Because if you don't establish the run, you can't do any play action.
That's actually been proven false through analytics. But
I'm sorry. Did it work? Did it work Sunday night? I mean,
Mahomes missed throws. No guys were open. I mean, they had.
But you decided to run on 4th and 2 or 4th and 1.
Terrible play call.
And you without ever really having established the run.
That's just a terrible play call. You should never run the ball on 4th and 2 with backup offensive lineman when you have the MVP as quarterback. What an absolute atrocious play call.
Hey, you're not going to see me defending Andy Reid with his play call.
I love Andy Reid's play calling. That was terrible. That was.
And yes, John Christian, I'm telling you, I can tackle. I can tackle better than these linebackers are doing. I don't know if you saw Sunday's game where the linebacker missed the open field tackle and the running back got all the way down to the 2-yard line. I'm sorry. You pay me pay me some millions of dollars. I can do that too. We're going to take a quick time out. You listen to The Ship right here on ESPN Kansas City, 94.5 FM and 1510 AM, presented to you by Gates Barbecue. Labor Day marks the end of summer. It's a time for the start of school, time to celebrate the American labor movement, and time for football season. Gates Barbecue is for all seasons. So as you're shopping for the last picnic of the summer, pick up some Gates sauces and seasoning at your grocer. Gates is a great flavor enhancement for your meats, veggies, salads, and dips. For that unmistakable taste, buy Gates. It is a Kansas City tradition.
What makes Slim Chicken so delicious? It all starts with fresh, all-natural tenderloins, buttermilk marinated, then lightly hand-breaded with our famous southern spices. And we cook them fresh when you order, every time. Try them with one of our 17 house dipping sauces. So come share a meal with us. Whether you're dining in, driving through, or feeding a crowd, Slim's has you covered. Slim Chickens. Fresh, delicious chicken.
Independence, Liberty, Overland Park, Lenexa, and opening soon in Mission.
Find your new home at Aspen Ridge, Olathe's newest community for active adults located at Ridgeview Road and 116th Street. Experience affordable luxury living with spacious floor plans to fit your style and unique taste.
We'll be back in about just over 2 minutes. About six and a half minutes.
571, or come take a tour and get a free gift card. Live where your friends live. Visit AspenRidge55.com.
Let's do it.
Where do you go when you need a truck or van to get the job done? It's City Rent-A-Truck, a trusted name for over 55 years serving the Kansas City metro area. City Rent-A-Truck can get you the right vehicle at the right time with none of the cost of ownership. Flatbeds and pickups, cargo vans and box trucks, passenger vans and SUVs. They now even do service bodies and dump beds. Whether you're renting or leasing, City Rent-A-Truck has the right project-based solution to meet your needs. Don't pay 100% of the cost for a vehicle you use 10% of the time. Work ready on demand, it's City Rent-A-Truck.
Let's drive down
will fly down to New Orleans.
Laissez le bon temps rouler. Let the good times roll. That's what we do at Jazz. Papa Vic here to tell you what's happening at your favorite restaurant, Jazz, a Louisiana kitchen. Char, broiled oysters, made famous in the heart of the French Quarter. These oysters are southern delights that will satisfy every palate. Flown in weekly from the Gulf right outside good old New Orleans. We douse them with our Jazz spices and grill them in their own shell. Top them with fresh grated Parmesan and Romano cheese, and the taste will send you straight down to Bourbon Street. Like your oysters on the half shell? No one in town sells more oysters than Jazz. And don't forget Topless Thursdays. Whether you order 1 or 100, they're only $1.25. Come see us at the original on 39th and State Line, at the Legends in Village West, or our newest location in good old Independence, just east of the Silverstein Eye Center Arena off I-70.
You dig all the hot stuff, the spicy stuff that's hot enough when you chop down that jazz.
Chopped broiled oysters. Get them only at Jazz.
Sports
30.
WHB is locally owned and operated, just like Casey's largest hometown music store, Big Dudes Music City. You won't find a larger selection of guitars, drums, keyboards, and PA systems anywhere else in Kansas City, or a more knowledgeable staff for that matter. If you have anything to do with pro audio in town, you know where Big Dudes is and has been for decades, just north of the plaza on Broadway. Also online at bigdudes.com. Get ready to do your thing at 38th and Broadway with Big Dude. Special financing available for qualified buyers. The Dude abides.
Oh, welcome back to the ship here on ESPN Kansas City, presented to you by Gates Barbecue, 94.5 FM and 1510 AM. I tell you, I love social media. See, now everybody wants to chime in. Oh, come on, Darren. My guy Brian Slavis. Come on, Darren. These aren't high school running backs you're trying to tackle. I know they not. But trust me, hold on. I wasn't getting paid to tackle back then. Paid me to tackle. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tackle.
So, to all the listeners, I agree with you and disagree with Darren. Darren is not wrapping any of these folks up.
Yeah,
He's
okay.
getting absolutely bulldozed.
Yeah, okay. You think that.
You couldn't wrap me up.
Bruh,
I'd shake you.
Hold on. Here's the thing. You would hope I don't make contact with you. I'm not worried about chasing you because if you're on the open field, you're going to come in my direction. I'm not being asked to run a 4-3 to try to catch up with you. I'm being asked to stop the run. So you're going to come towards me to begin with.
Big time.
My deal is going to be wrapping you up. I'm going to put helmet into your chest and wrap you up. That's what a form tackle is. Now.
You're not going to have a chance, though. Well, what if we're on a football field one-on-one, is that what you're saying? Well, you and me one-on-one?
Hold on. First of all, if it's one-on-one, dude, you can run all over the field. That doesn't make sense. I'm talking about in a regular 11-on-11. I'm talking about man up. Man, look. Anyway, I do want to say, of course, so people think I'm joking, I do have right here the Gates complimentary dinner for one. I got a few of these. You can take a value guess to one of the 6 locations on behalf of us here at Union Broadcasting. Now, I don't know. Maybe I should do a Q&A for the other 2, something that only I can answer, so I can win it myself. But definitely want to thank Gates Barbecue. And I posted up there, and people have commented they do want us to give away more Gates coupons. So, Arzelia, if you hear me, I know Colin is watching, so I need more coupons for the people. The people want to come, they want to eat, and then I need some for myself and for my board op, Sterling. But, before we get out of here, Sterling, I got to say, man, we are 2 weeks away, bro. 2 weeks away from the start of the NBA season.
It's like Christmas.
Oh, gosh. Hey, man, I'll tell you something. People don't understand. The biggest time of the year for those of us here in Kansas City, for a lot of us here, is obviously the start, not the preseason, but the regular season start of the NFL and then the start of the NBA season. And the fact that those two coincide with each other, allows us to, obviously be more diverse than when we talk about. Of course, we talk about anything at any time. But I will say this, man. Los Angeles is going to be the capital of the sports country when this season starts. And I'm going to tell you something. One of the things that I'm most excited about is when we come in. Huh?
Clippers.
What about them?
That's what you're talking about, right?
Who?
The Clip Show.
They got a team?
The team that's projected to win the NBA
I'm sorry.
Finals.
I'm sorry. The top 10 number 1 team NBA teams in the men, Los Angeles Lakers. I'm sorry. And after what I saw Saturday night, and just the first half alone, LeBron James and AD double.
See, that's fine, but when you got JaVale McGee as your starting center, you're going to have some problems.
I'm sorry. The man had a double-double. He had 13 rebounds, 10 points. I'm sorry. And what did Kawhi Leonard? What did
Probably load management.
Well, okay. And so, again, telling me, so hold on. So you're going to sit there and try to, seriously, dude, you're going to try to say load management and the Clippers are going to be able to beat the Lakers. For real?
I don't know.
This ain't Toronto.
No, I think the Clippers will have a better regular season record than the Lakers because I don't think they're necessarily a better team. I think the best teams are I think the Bucks are the best team right now. I still think the Bucks are the best team. Yeah, I think Giannis is too good. Chris Middleton. Splash Mountain. I mean, you lose Malcolm Brogdon.
I'm not even going to lie, dude. I don't even care too much for the Philadelphia 76ers, dude. I would just erase all of your history with them for you to say something like that.
But, I mean, to beat the best, you got to beat the best.
Then that would be Toronto, bro. That'd be Toronto.
No, but Toronto lost their best player. That's like saying when LeBron left Cleveland, oh, they're still the best team. No, when Tristan Thompson said that, you know that was a joke.
Anyway, don't ever put the Clippers in the same category with LeBron James and the Lakers this year, because I'm telling you. Now look, that game is going to be on opening night. If that game's opening night, right? October 22nd.
I actually don't know.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure.
I'm gonna need you to do some homework. I'm gonna need you to get that taken care of. But what I will say is this: we're going to talk much about that game after they play. So,
I mean, both are good teams. I just think the Lakers are a little top heavy. Clippers have amazing defense.
Yeah, but again, the beauty of the Lakers is that they have depth, and you know what you're going to get.
Alex Caruso is like your sixth man.
Well, that's because Kyle Kuzma's out right now. Hey, look, man, I'm telling you, don't shake on him. Look, as long as you got,
I love the professor.
Hey, look, as long as you got LeBron and AD, you got that 1-2 combination. I think they're going to be okay. Again, defense is going to be a big thing, and of course you got Dwight Howard as well. Dwight Howard, he's going to be a good pickup for him no matter what anybody thinks. I think he's going to play solid defense. He's not going to be a cancer in the locker room.
Same as 2013, right? Or was that?
Well,
was
different surroundings. You don't have Kobe in your ear and stuff versus LeBron. But we can talk about that so much more within the next 2 weeks. I want to thank everyone for joining us today, right here, listening to us on the ship. Congratulations to Alonzo. I will make some phone calls. We will try to get some more coupons. I don't know. I got 2 more away tomorrow.
30.
So with that being said, make sure you tune in 23 hours from now. We'll be back here, ESPN Kansas City, 94.5 FM and 1510 AM. For yours truly and Mr. Sterling Holmes. Listen to him today, 4 to 6 p.m. on ESPN Radio. We are out of here.